Blanca, were we going to wait for Omar? Oh. Okay.
Yeah, we can wait like a minute or two.
Okay.
It's already 4. We're ready to start.
I think we can get started if he's right behind you. All right. It is 4 p.m. on October 26th. I'd like to call this meeting of the Economic Development Corporation to order. Blanca, if you can do roll call and establish quorum, please.
Kieran Govin, President.
Present.
Roland Gomez, Vice President.
Present.
Daniel Dan Diaz, Secretary.
Present.
Aaron Ronnie Rivera, Treasurer.
Present.
Veronica Gonzalez, Director. Sabrina Walker Hernandez, Director. Raul Resendez, Director. And we have quorum.
Thank you very much. Do we certify public notice?
The notice was posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act on October 22nd at 4:35 p.m.
All right. I'd like to open up the floor to public comments. Did we have anybody in the audience or that registered on Zoom that would like to speak today?
Yes, we do. We have Mr. Robert Mora from Workforce Solutions.
Good afternoon, Edinburg EDC board members. My name is Robert Mora. I'm a Business Solutions representative for Workforce Solutions. I'm here today to express a great gratitude for the partnership that we've had with the City of Edinburg and the Edinburg EDC as well. On Friday, October the 8th, from 9 to 1, Edinburg, the City of Edinburg, Edinburg EDC Workforce Solutions and the library hosted a very big job fair at the Bird Ogden Arena. We had a little bit over shy of 600 job seekers that were in attendance. Out of 130 employers, 118 were present. There were many job offers on the spots, and many individuals left with scheduled appointments for interviews. So this was a great success. Overall, we estimate about between 350 and 375 job seekers that actually left with with the point of contact, to reach that employer so that they can make a better connection and have that interview that they really needed. So I'd like to say thank you to the Edinburg EDC, of course, the City of Edinburg, Ms. Blanca Davila and her team for making this great event a huge success. Thank you.
Great to hear, Mr. Mora.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good job on everybody else. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do we have anybody else who would like to speak or does register for comments? All right. Closing public comments. Moving on to agenda item 4, Director's Report.
Yes, we do have a couple of updates, or several updates. We'll go ahead and start with Spark 3.0. We are approaching the deadline of October 31st for the Spark gift cards. Deadline will be October 31st for people to spend the card with those businesses that were awarded the $2,000 grant. But all in all, things are going very well. We do have a couple of top employers like Vedas, Meats, have been our number 1 for the past several weeks. So we look forward to presenting the final numbers to the board hopefully next month. I do have an announcement for the commercial and investment tour. You have a flyer in front of you for Edinburg, and we're working very closely with RGB Partnership and Coldwell Banker, Daniel as well here, with the Edinburg Chamber and RGB Tours. We are hosting the Commercial and Investment Tour Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. And this tour is for investors, developers, engineers, realtors, and industry leaders. It will be hosted here at the City Chambers, and then we will board a bus so we can talk about all the development happening in the city of Edinburg and the partnerships that we have with the EDC and other companies here. So just went ahead and bring that up to your attention. If in case you want to join, please feel free to reach out to staff to save your seat. Moving on to projects, these 3 projects have been approved by the EDC board previously. We continue to work with the brokers to ensure that we meet the expected closing dates and or request any extensions as needed. Moving on to prospects, we have about 18 to 19 prospects that we continue to talk to, either for expansions, relocations, or new businesses, and these are ongoing. Some have already moved from this phase to an actual project with either Sittons Martin or RGB Tours or even First Value, and hopefully more of these will become projects. Retail development, we continue to work with Coldwell Banker RGB to ensure that the retail outreach is being completed. These three leads are still in play, and we continue to attend Chamber of Commerce ribbon cuttings to ensure that we continue communicating with those businesses that are opening here in Edinburg. Our programs, marketing services, we're working closely with the marketing staff from DCI to ensure we have a presentation and script and voiceover for our outreach, so we can go ahead and follow a guideline of all the development and highlights that Edinburg has to offer when we speak to prospects. Workforce, Mr. Robert Mora presented a brief update. So it is the largest job fair we've hosted in the RGB. We called it Employer RGB Job Fair, and we had about 181 potential job offers. The board did ask about how many of those job offers actually were hired. This information will be shared with economic development staff within 6 months. That's how long it takes for Workforce Solutions to obtain that information, and then when they're ready, they'll share with us, and we'll communicate that to the board. We went ahead and added the Shea Nate LLC project to the dashboard online for transparency purposes. This is our new incentive project that was approved within the last couple of months from the board, and we'll go ahead and continue adding those as the board approves any new projects. RFIs, these requests for informations are sent from the governor's office, from the Economic Development and Tourism Office. We submitted 3, and they continue to come in, and we continue to submit for the ones that we do qualify. If we have available land that meets the criteria, utilities, demand on internet or water and electricity, some are very specific on their needs. Sometimes we don't meet them, and sometimes we do. So in this instance, we submitted 3. And we do have a couple more updates that are not on your report. Just a quick update on the financial reports moving forward as the fiscal year 22 begins. I will be working closely with the finance director, Dagoberto, to present to the board a quarterly report on the financials. I will present a monthly expense report related to the activity of the month and report on sales tax for that month that we present and meet with the board. So the full report will be quarterly, and then the monthly will be a quick overview on the expenses that we've done for the month. I do want to recognize the board and the city. We did attend a TEDC conference where the city was awarded a Community and Economic Development Award for their resilient recovery efforts for the pandemic. So we were one of 55 applicants that, I think there were 55 applicants, and the city was one of them that received an award. So we were very proud for the efforts that we've done, all the investment we've done in the community. So I do want to recognize the board for supporting Spark and any future projects that we do here. Yeah, you can pass it out. We also, the EDC also was recognized for the 2021 Inclusion Partner Award from the Capable Kids Foundation. So this is coming up November 4th at 6:30. More information to come. Our staff will send out a calendar invite with all the details after this meeting, so it's on your calendars because it will happen next week. So congratulations to the EDC for supporting projects that are great projects for our community and investment in our city. And then we also want to announce, as we conclude the Spark gift card program, we will begin brainstorming and implementing the facade downtown program and the home-based business program. So that's coming up next. More details to come on that, hopefully in the next board meeting. And that concludes my report.
Nice. Great job on that award. I'm glad that we won that.
Thank you.
Spark was extremely successful.
Yes, no, thank
and,
you.
And the staff has done a tremendous job in working together with us, and we thank you guys for all you do.
Yeah, I have to echo that. A lot of the stuff that is happening is staff recommended, and it's very easy to all agree and support you guys. Congratulations on the award. You guys are the ones that bring the ideas and the make it happen, make the magic happen. Congratulations.
Anybody have any more questions or comments for Blanca? No. All right. Moving on to regular agenda item A. Consider the excused absence for Vice President Roland Gomez for September 28th. I know the agenda says October 26th, but that is incorrect. It'll be for the September 28th, 2021 meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
A second motion.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed?
I'll abstain.
And one abstention. Motion carries. All right. Moving on to agenda item B, consider the approval of minutes for the board meeting on September 28th, 2021. Has everybody had a chance to review them?
Yes, sir.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Agenda item C, consider the approval of financial report for September 2021. So will you be doing the monthly starting now, or is Dago going to be doing it, Christian?
Oh,
the
we're
financial.
gonna table those two items.
Oh, we're gonna table, sorry,
yes.
we're
Item
gonna-
C and D.
Sorry, you're right. We're going to table, motion to table items C and D.
So moved.
C and D.
Yeah. The financials weren't ready yet, so we're going to move it till next month. Have a motion and a
So
second?
Motion table.
Second that motion.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Right. Moving on to agenda item E, consider the approval for sponsorship for UTRGV Athletics.
UTRGV Athletics is requesting a sponsorship for $20,000 from the EDC. This includes signage and media advertising at UTRGV Fieldhouse, soccer track and field complex, and baseball stadium. It includes a website, a check signing, or check presentation, and like different places where the EDC logo will be showcased. I know that UTRGV staff, Seth Jones and Chad,
Chase.
yeah, okay, Chad, is here if you have any questions for them. The request is for $20,000. We do have a sponsorships line item in our fiscal year 22 budget, so that is accounted for if approved by the board. And previously in fiscal year 2019, the EDC board approved $75,000 for 3 years. So this is for 1 year for $20,000. And the city will come in with another sponsorship of $20,000. So total will be 40, 20 EDC and 20 city.
So Blanca, I have a question. 2019 is when it was approved for
Yes,
3
is
years?
it 3 years, yeah.
Okay.
25, 25, 25.
Same event, same.
Yes, UTRGV Athletics sponsorship.
Mr. President, I do want to add that on the city side, again, we saw that the EDC had been doing $25,000 a year. So we worked with UTRGV to adjust the proposals to equalize them a little bit, because it was $25,000 for the EDC and $15,000 for the city. So we changed the scope of the proposals a little bit, and what we're proposing is basically equalizing them at 20 and 20. So it's an equal contribution between the city and the EDC. And just from looking at the proposals and the amounts, I thought that was the most prudent and fair thing to do.
Excellent. Guys, y'all want to say a few words?
Well, good afternoon. Thanks for, one, considering the proposal, and two, for having us. The city support and the EDC is so important to us. 275 student athletes,
representing the Valley well, but also across the world. And so they represent this community well. We appreciate your consideration. Primarily, we are based out of Edinburg, so that's a big piece of our puzzle. But we really appreciate the consideration and happy to answer any questions.
I believe in everything you guys are doing for the city. I know since you've taken over, a lot more, I guess, interaction with the city has happened, which is really great. And you're clearly an anchor in our community.
I appreciate that. Thank you. We have a great team. Great team.
Anybody have any questions? Oh, sorry, you need to state your name for the record.
Yeah, Chase Conk.
I also believe, Chase, that it's very vital for the EDC to be involved with your efforts. And I'm also, I'm for continuing this partnership with you guys.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
Yes, and I appreciate everything that UTRGV does for the city, and I'm glad you guys have most everything here. We look forward to hopefully hosting the football team when that also happens. But just for those that are new to the board, can you tell us what this money goes for? I see the advertisement we get, but what does the money actually go for?
It supports all of our student athletes. Like I mentioned, we have 275 young people. We're carrying a cumulative GPA of north of a 3.23, which is remarkable. Very high graduation rates, very high retention rates. About 27% of our student athlete cohort is from the Rio Grande Valley, several right here from the city of Edinburg. And so it goes to support their education. It supports their team travel, some of the things that are pertinent to us, for us to be able to compete. And at the same time, we're able to bring in teams from all over the country right here to Edinburg, and hopefully putting not just the UTRGV brand on the map, but also the city as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
I'm biased a bit because I'm with UTRGV, but I have to say Chase and his team are doing a tremendous job at the university in really moving us forward and turning UTRGV into one of the stellar universities across the state in the way of athletics. And if you've had a chance to interact with some of our student athletes, you'd see that they're impressive young men and women, and very proud to be a part of that. And Chase, you've done a tremendous job since you joined us here at UTRGV, and we're just so happy that you and your team are so committed to the students.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And we do have a big election coming up. I know it's election season, but obviously our students are voting on a pretty important referendum with the expansion of sports, football being one of those, women's swimming and diving, creation of marching bands, and enhancing our cheer and dance programs. So that's a vote to keep your eye on. Our students will vote November 8th, 9th, and 10th. So it's coming up quickly.
Excellent. Thank you. Anything else for Chase? I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the sponsorship for UTPA.
Second. All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed, same sign.
For the record, I need to abstain.
And one abstention.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Please keep up the good work.
Wonderful. Thank y'all, Visa. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Chase.
Dan's going to throw out the first pitch at one baseball game. And for the record, at 4:15 p.m., Director Veronica Gonzalez is present. Moving on to agenda item F, consider the approval for the updated incentive application.
Okay, by way of background on this item, you remember the board approved back in December of 2020 the new incentive application and process. And when you approved that back in December, staff told you that after getting kind of a year under our belt with this new process, we would come back, reevaluate it, and possibly recommend some changes. So that's what this is. We're still laser focused on quality job creation and expanding the tax base. But the tweak we would like to make, if you remember when we set this up originally as the policy currently stands, we've targeted $15 per hour full-time with benefit jobs, and then some positive net return to the tax base for each project as kind of baseline criteria for consideration. We had established a threshold of at least 15 full-time jobs as an eligibility criteria and a floor of 5 million added to the property tax base. Given sort of the deal flow, I guess, if you want to put it that way, and staff's working with companies over the last year, I think we can maintain the integrity of the process and the due diligence required to give you good recommendations for what to do on these requests and remove those thresholds. I think it'll give staff a little more flexibility in terms of the size of businesses we can potentially work with on relocation or expansion projects. We've seen a few businesses come and say, look, we can't quite get to that 15 job, not the wage, but the number of jobs, but we've got 12. Could we work something out and possibly be considered? Based on our experience of last year, I think we can kind of maintain the policy focus here and provide some additional flexibility and create some additional opportunities by getting rid of the thresholds. So that's our recommendation. Process would stay the same. The review process would stay the same kind of due diligence. We'd still be working with UTRGV on doing the cost-benefit analysis and have those results published for each project. Nothing about that would really change. We would just get rid of the minimum 15 jobs and minimum 5 million to the tax base.
I'd have to agree with that because I remember those were kind of my main concerns back then because so many of our jobs down here are, $10 to $12 range or employees that are less than 15. So I'm okay with all that.
Yeah, definitely have to agree.
Yeah, I remember we, as the board, we expressed a concern that this only targeted larger businesses, which we want in the city, but we also wanted to think of the mom and pop or the startups. So does this kind of include them also?
Yes, that would be part of the intent here. And it's a balance, right? I mean, we want to make sure we don't have unlimited funds for incentives. We want to make sure to reserve funds.
Right.
But given kind of how the activities looked over the year, I think we can do this safely and still be in pretty good shape.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, I liked having some thresholds though, because at least it gave us where we had, it could be applicable to every new business that was asking or existing business that was asking for an incentive, and we could say across the board we're being even-handed, you know what I mean, and transparency for transparency purposes. I think we still need to evaluate it though with number of jobs created, the pay, because we were concerned about too low of a pay for employees, and then the type of impact it's going to have on our community, the type of business it is, whether or not it's the type of business that we believe will have a significant long-term impact. Otherwise, you'll be inundated with applications for this, right? So, I'm not against removing those, but I do think we just have to be very careful as a board in reviewing each of the promises that are being made by various groups that come seeking an incentive.
So with that in mind, how many do you think would have been filtered out, or how many more do you think we would have gotten?
I don't think it would be many. Blanca actually pulled the data for the last year, and I think we had 8 people submit applications, correct, and awarded incentives to 1. So I don't think we would have done 8. There are certainly situations where I think the ask is going to be too big for what the impact would be, and staff will make that recommendation to you when it goes to you. So yeah, we agree wholeheartedly, and all of those criteria are still going to be in place. And I think we can find the right balance and can achieve what the board wants to do, and sort of do it through the staff review and the due diligence process versus trying to stick to those hard thresholds. But yeah, it is a balance.
Well, we can always review it as well if it seems that it's not working, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can do this at any time, and I don't get the sense that it'll overwhelm staff with the requests, but we're still trying to learn as we go here and try to strike that right balance. And so this will be, we might end up coming back based on the experience over the next few months.
Yeah, I agree, Veronica. And you probably will have a lot of requests, but I trust staff will do its due diligence and present good projects. I have to bring up the example of a ribbon cutting I went to recently, and it was a mom and pop started a business in their garage, I think. It was making, it was doing prepackaged meals, and they started from nothing, and I think the last number was 15,000 meals a week. So, you know, if you see stuff that has the potential, I mean, I'd love to be able to incentivize and kind of cradle that kind of business that could start in Edinburg. I think they have 4 or 5 locations already. I don't know if it started in Edinburg, but those are the kind of businesses that I want to at least help out or be there for. And I trust staff will do their due diligence on that.
Any more questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. The updated incentive application.
Second that motion.
I have a motion and second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, moving on to agenda item D, discussion and possible action of board members attending ICSC Here We Go conference on December 5th through the 7th.
The ICSC conference will be hosted December 5th through December 7th in Las Vegas. It'll be at the Las Vegas Convention Center. We are working very closely with RGV Partnership and our broker, Coldwell Banker Daniel, to ensure that we have a plan of action for when we do go. I know Mr. Garza and Mr. Kelsey and ourselves are also devising a plan of outreach along with the board. So we do recommend one of our board members attend the ICSC, but it's up for discussion for the board to decide who will go or if multiple board members will be going. We do have a budget for travel, training, and conferences of $100,000. We did do the calculations of how much it would cost per person for your information, so it's about $1,500 per person. That includes hotel, meals, and travel.
Daniel, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I think you probably have more experience with this conference than anybody else, so I don't know if you just wouldn't mind stepping up to the podium, just explaining a little bit of kind of, you know, what the itinerary looks like, what normal board responsibilities would look like.
Good afternoon. Yeah, happy to. ICSC is kind of the premier retail-oriented real estate event in the country. I would venture to say you might have some experience with it. And so it's basically brokers, developers, retailers, all under one roof for 2 or 3 days of networking. It's extremely productive, extremely productive. Some of the biggest projects in South Texas have either stemmed from or have been solidified at these conferences. And so very, very productive. What we see more of is EDC directors, city managers, even every now and then, you know, a mayor or two, right? But very, very productive event.
It's on the 5th to the 7th, so conference, all the meetings would start on 5 and end 7th?
Correct. It's 2 days. And so one thing I will add is that this event is typically in May. And it's been in May for as long as I've been going, which is, you know, 10 years more or less. And this one's in December. And they're doing it because of COVID and them canceling their show in 2021. And so this is going to be kind of a hybrid ICSC. It's not going to be the typical ICSC that you would see in May. This coming May, 2022, you'll see ICSC go back to its normal platform, which is like 30,000 people, right? And so I think it's like the second biggest trade show that Las Vegas offers. And so May will be back to normal. And so they're probably gonna cap this one at like 15 or 20,000 people. They're gonna slim it by a third. But all the retail clients that we have and the people that we do business with all have plans to be there. I think the people that may not go this time around are people like me, like brokers or developers. So all the retail guys will be there, and it's booths, right? And so everybody's got a booth. Target's got a booth. Walmart's got a booth. McDonald's has a booth, right? And so it really is an opportunity to get information like that.
So Blanca, just for the record, I know you mentioned 100,000. That's the budget for the entire 2022. That's not the budget
No.
for this conference,
No,
right?
it's
Okay.
for
And
travel,
just because of those
meeting, and
listening, I don't want
conferences.
people coming back and saying, y'all going to spend $100,000 in Vegas?
No.
But your estimate is about 1,500 per person that would go. And then, of course, whoever does go would come back and report back on the types of networking that was done, the deliverables, basically, for us to consider. I've heard really great things about this conference. I know several developers and others that go, and they've said that it's really worthwhile. So I think it's a great idea. I just wanted to make sure that we were being, fiscally responsible.
Yes, that's for the entire year.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you sure, Blanca?
Yes, I'm sure.
And I'm sure Danny can speak to this. Usually at these meetings, and I don't know, having quote unquote the power in the room,
Absolutely.
officers
There's a huge
going
benefit.
with city managers and things like.
Huge benefit to somebody like me being able to walk into a meeting with a prospect for Edinburg with the director of the EDC or a board member, or whoever that might be. And so absolutely, there's definitely some value in that.
Anybody else have any questions for Danny?
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Daniel.
And then Blanca, would we be doing it like in other conferences I go to, you kind of team up 2-3 people, go to each meeting together and have a plan of action, I guess?
Yes, we're actually working to devise like an outreach plan. Depending on who goes, we'll divide into teams and then do that outreach that way. I'm also in conversations with Daniel to schedule meetings already beforehand. So once we get there, we already know who to go with and who to speak to, and hopefully materialize something from those meetings.
Yes, please.
One thing I would add is that companies like ours have resources available to myself and to Blanca for meeting space, audiovisual setups, things like that. And so it's kind of like a home base, right? And so all the infrastructure to be extremely productive is there.
So we'll have all the data, like, rooftops.
I mean, that's, yeah,
Roles,
absolutely, yeah. And so you go in there with a plan of action and execute it, yeah.
Excellent. All right, Blanca just put one on the board just to put it on the agenda, but I guess I'll just open it up to everyone who feels that if they want to go, can go.
I definitely suggest you go, Hiran, not only because you're our chairman, but because you're in the business of tourism and very well understand it and have significant experience with this. So, I mean, I definitely think you should be one of the ones to go.
Yeah, and I am available to go for that weekend, for that week.
Yeah, and I think that if the other training was, as an example, everyone has conflicting schedules, so I think whoever can go should go. Did any of the board get to go to the TEDC training? Or was it just staff?
The training that's coming up, or?
The one in Houston, was it?
It's coming up.
The one that,
It's coming up.
isn't,
The TEDC?
yes,
It was staff.
it was
that
staff,
way.
yeah. See, so that one was open to the board and then everyone had conflicting schedules, so I think it should be open for whoever can go on the board.
Yeah, I agree.
Does anybody else like to attend?
I might be able to, I'll know,
Yeah.
I'll know soon.
Can we,
I say, can we just open it up to the whole board? And whoever can make it, can? Or do we have to vote on each individual board member? Or do we have to let you all know now if we're gonna end up going?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you want to make the motion that way, and then we just kind of know what the top end of the budget would look like so we can plan, and then, maybe we could establish a deadline after this and just tell us by a certain date, so.
I think 1 week from now,
It's lined up.
because the longer we wait, the more flights get expensive, travel, et cetera. For 1 week?
Yeah, I agree.
You wanna make the
Yes,
motion?
if you can, let us know today, because of the hotel rate. Today is the last day, actually, so we want to make sure we capitalize on the rate. If not, it's okay, but if you can, let us know.
What is the hotel?
We're going to go with Bellagio. Yep.
What's the host hotel, or it's in the convention center? Right, it's a convention center, okay.
Las Vegas Convention Center.
Right down the road. Okay. Well, I am able to attend, so I guess you can put me down as one for sure.
Blanca, I think I can attend as well. I actually get free rooms there, so I'll save you some money.
Awesome, thank you. Anyone else?
I'll let you guys know,
Same here.
but I'm interested in going also.
Same here.
So then how do we need to make this motion?
I think just up to a maximum, if you want to approve, I guess, authority for us to cover budget for up to the maximum number of board seats, which is everybody, then.
Well, Sabrina's not here and Raul isn't here, so I'd like to give them the opportunity as well.
So make a motion to approve agenda item G up to a maximum of 7 board members, right? Okay, second?
I second that motion.
All in favor, please raise your right hand. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to agenda item H, consider the approval of property sale of 2.36 acres of Lot A, the North Industrial Park, to Jet Media for the amount of $129,800.
Jet Media, they're also here, is a sign company that has been producing signs and graphics for over 16 years in the RGB. And they are moving their operations, they're relocating their operations into Edinburg by bringing 2 of their production shops from Farr and McAllen into Edinburg. They are requesting to purchase 2.36 acres, and it's currently being replatted right now from Lot 7A in the North Industrial Park, and the cash offer is $129,800 for the 2.36 acre tract in the North Industrial Park. They are proposing to build 3 buildings. One building is 28,000 square foot for their headquarters and production shop, and the second building is 3,500 square foot for powder coating and painting booth, and the last building is 22,000 square foot multi-tenant facility for leasing to industrial shops. Staff recommends approval for this, and the UTRGV fiscal impact analysis reported a positive return for the city. So when we started this conversation with Jet Media, the appraisal at the time was about $50,000, but we're working with our broker to reevaluate that, and hopefully we can increase that in the near future, and we'll report that to the board once we solidify that number.
What was the appraisal?
50,000 per acre.
Gentlemen, did you want to speak?
So that offer, the number, price per acre, price per square foot, is full price. And so we're reevaluating the valuation on the lots, but that offer was received some time ago, and so I think the idea was to proceed with that number. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you.
Any more questions?
Was there anything that, a presentation by Jet Media, or what?
Yes, there is a presentation attached to your packet, and they do showcase a proposed building design for your knowledge.
Okay, even with the appraisals that we've got now, we're not too, the deficit isn't too much, is it? Like, we've got 100 and, let's say a quarter of an acre, so it's probably got about 115,000 in the appraisal for the 2.5 acre, or 2.36 acres. Is that basically what we're looking at? Or it's just 50 and 50, it's 2.36 acres, I believe, right?
Yeah. They
And
came
so
in
you're-
at 55.
you're
The
saying-
offer was
okay.
55 per acre.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, the price, very fair price.
Right.
For everybody involved.
Okay.
And so we're going off the appraised value from an appraisal that was done, I think, probably about a year ago.
Yeah.
Things are very different now in just a year, right? And so, yeah, I think reevaluating is probably something to do, but for the deal in front of us, I think we're spot on.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, in addition to being close to, I mean, really being at the appraised value or a little higher possibly, it's also, they're also creating additional jobs and bringing
Right.
an economic impact to our city, which is something we've all been looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good deal for the city and for Chippy.
It's a good-looking building, too.
I had a question. The building and the rental spaces, what are the plans for the type of businesses to bring in there? Did I hear there was a building?
No, they're self-occupied.
I'm sorry, Dan, can you repeat the question one more time? Is
Well,
it in
did
reference
I-
to the phase three?
Yeah, did I hear there was going to be a retail plaza?
Yes, you're looking at phase three is going to be approximately 20,000 square feet. It's going to be a future expansion for the, or I should say 22,000 square feet. So the idea is kind of offer it, open it up to the market, try to bring in some tenants. The idea right now, I guess, is to get his business going. Once that's done, then of course go into, eventually into phase three, which is the 22,000 square feet.
And you're moving from FAR and McAllen so that you can consolidate into one location?
Yeah, so Jet Media, which is not myself,
Oh,
so Jet Media, they have a location in FAR, an additional location in McAllen. The idea is just to kind of put it under one roof.
Okay.
So we want you in Edinburg.
Thank you.
Do you know how long it's been in business?
That one is,
Sorry
go
about
ahead,
that.
it's okay.
About 16 years, roughly. Yeah, I've been at it for a while.
Great.
I have a question.
Sure.
Once you would start, when would you estimate starting construction? Once, I know that you're replanning or re-subdividing, is that what's going on right now? When do you think that the final completion of the buildings would be?
To be honest, I would have liked to start it a couple of months ago, but as soon as it's replanted, I mean, we're ready to go.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you. Thank you for considering that.
Is there any other questions?
No, no, sir. Thank you.
That's what everybody said. You want to start?
I'll entertain a motion if there's no more questions.
Yeah,
Motion to approve.
I second that motion.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you for coming to Edinburg, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Jet Media.
Your signs look very nice.
Moving on to agenda item I, presentation and possible action regarding Trenton Plaza at 506 West Trenton. I'd like to move this item into executive session. If I can get a motion for that, I appreciate it.
I make a motion to move it in executive session.
Second.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item I is moving into executive. It is now 4:43 p.m. I'd like to entertain a motion to enter into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We're entering executive at 4:43 p.m. like on my screen says the host would like to unmute me.
Sí, bueno, Jorge San.
When are we ready?
I don't know if we're ready or not.
We're ready.
It's 5:30. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's 5:37 p.m. I'll entertain a motion to enter open session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please raise your right hand. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are entering open session. I'm going to be passing off.
President here,
Sorry.
Mr. Raul, our board member, is on Zoom. We need to acknowledge the, yeah.
Yes. Sorry. At 4:55 p.m., Raul Resendez did join executive session, and he is currently still on. I'm going to be passing it off to Roland. I abstained, for the record, from all of the executive session comments.
Alrighty, item I, presentation of possible action regarding Trenton Plaza at 506 West Trenton Road. Do we have any discussion?
I would like to make a motion for staff to proceed as
Hold on.
discussed.
The discussion first. No
Okay.
discussion?
Right. No.
Okay, let me close discussion. We'll open it up for motion. Go ahead.
Okay, motion for staff to proceed as discussed in executive session.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Okay. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign.
And one abstention.
Motion carries. with
Aye.
one abstention. Oh, Raul?
Aye.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay, Aaron?
All right. If there's no other, is there any other business we'd like to discuss? Nope. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, everybody.